Today, I'm going to talk about two concepts. The concepts of being realistic and being positive. Don't worry, I won't take too much of a side. Let's start with realistic. Being realistic by definition is that you have or show some sensible and practical idea of what can be achieved or expected, and or you're representing familiar things in a way that's accurate and true to life. Keyword, life. What if life just sucks? And what if there's no practical way of achieving what is to be expected of us, especially in an environment that keeps us stuck in a vicious cycle, bathing us with a negative mindset that influences how we accept our fate? That being negative and cynical is masculine. That being stressful on the bridge of anxiety, dealing with all the precursors of mental instabilities like depression and taking pills for every single inconveniences is being realistic. Let me add more. Being stuck in a job you don't like, arguing every day with family and friends, labeling that as being individualistic and expressive. Is that being realistic? Locking oneself in a deprecating lifestyle contrary to our own wishes and what we want. Better yet, drowning ourselves in material, drinking and smoking to oblivion, relying on others' words and emotions outside of us to feel something. Or, how about this? Allowing likes and thumbs up to dictate the meaning of our relationship. Is that being realistic? Alright, hold that thought on one side. On the other side, let's talk about being positive. Being positive, just by definition, is having a good, affirmative, optimistic, constructive quality or attribute. The word positivity imbues those elements as part of an attitude. Now, being positive doesn't guarantee you anything. Matter of fact, you and the most negative person you know on earth have the same shot at life. The idea of being positive throws a lot of people off. I know that feeling because it's like being in uncharted territories. Think of it as an empty canvas where you gotta paint with no instructions. While others may have their canvas painted for them, whether they like it or not, some people say that being positive is also being fake. But is it really? Ask yourself, isn't being fake doing something you don't like? Isn't being fake being someone you are not? Or doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome? Isn't that fake? How many of us are already doing that and labeling that as being realistic? Being positive to me is about accepting all the issues and problems in life and willingly put yourself in an uncomfortable mindset, because as pretty as the word positive sounds, it only gets you to the door. But what we do know is that if we want to accomplish something we don't know the outcome to, because we haven't experienced this so-called, dream of a better life, we must first accept what we do know, and that is our current methodologies, our current ways of handling life, they don't work. Not consistently enough for us to realize the way. It's ironic, and to be honest, many people rather choose a more predictable outcome than be positive. We hear that from so many people that confine themselves in the predictability that they always give an excuse and say something like, "Don't smoke like me. Dude, don't eat that. It's unhealthy. Give it to me. I don't have time for this. I'm going to take some pills." How many times do we know what is really good for us? And we give a list out the door of excuses not to do it. I'm sure there are some really legitimate excuses, but the question really is, how long? For how long are you going to use that same excuse before it becomes you? My message is not about being, positive is better than being realistic or vice versa. It's not about that. It's a combination of both. Because if we can, think about it, it'll allow us to get back to that crossroad ever more strongly every single time, so that we can make another decision that will give us a better and hopefully more favorable outcome. Think of positive realism as a tool to manifest what we need, when we need it, to better call the offensive and defensive plays, to cover the gaps that seem to drive us to the same situation we're always in. If we can train ourselves to be real about what's happening right now to us, really truly understand the circumstances, willingly set a positive mindset to navigate through the traps of anxiety, the traps of stress, will we not then better grasp the opportunity when it presents itself? Now, there's no guarantee, but there's hope. Hope of a better outcome from a similar situation. That's all I'm saying. We all got a minute to live. The question is, how are we going to use those tools given to us, innately powerful within? It's time to use the tools we have wisely for a better and fruitful today towards a beautiful tomorrow. Positive realism. Thank you.